slit your throat. I'll keep it in mind, he said, with a smirk. One of the event coordinators emerged from behind the stage curtain. "Agent Santos," she said, "you have a phone call. They said it's important." Victoria felt sudden apprehension. For the past 4 months, she'd been the FBI's task force coordinator in the multi-state search for a geographically transient serial killer. By far, it was her most important assignment since transferring from hostage negotiation to the Child Abduction and Serial Killer Unit in Quantico, Virginia. Too often an important message meant very bad news. "You can take it in the office," the assistant said. Victoria followed her behind the stage. They meandered through a dark path of pulleys, ropes, and props until they reached the office near the restrooms. It was a windowless room no bigger than a closet, with books and papers stacked high in every available space. The desk was so cluttered it might have been impossible to find the phone had it not been for the red blinking hold button. Victoria closed the door for privacy and picked up the receiver. "Santos," she answered. "Pete Weston here. Sorry to bother you in the middle of your roadshow, but you told me to call as soon as I had anything." She rubbed the last bit of red dye from her eyebrows, then blinked hard, switching completely out of her training mode. Dr. Weston was a DNA expert in the FBI laboratory at headquarters, one of hundreds of experts she relied on for support. "Don't apologize," she said. "Thanks for working a Saturday. Got my results?" "Yes, but you won't be happy." She sighed, but showed no surprise. "What did you find?" "Well, I looked at the specimens from the Eugene, Oregon scene first. You remember we had some drops of blood in the bathroom around the sink and tub, well away from the body. Unfortunately, I'm afraid you can rule out your theory that the killer cut himself and left behind a trail of his own blood." "How do you know?" "On a hunch, I compared the unidentified blood from Oregon to the blood of the other 4 victims: Cleveland, New York, Arkansas, Miami. I got a match with Miami. He must have taken it with him from the Miami victim, or maybe it had just collected on his knife or soaked into his clothing. He could have frozen it to preserve it, then brought it with him to Oregon and sprinkled it at the scene." "He's collecting blood now?" she said warily. "In a way, yes, but it doesn't mean you have a vampire on your hands. If you did, you'd probably have me examining blood from blenders and coffee cups by now." Victoria said nothing, though she tended to agree. From the psychological profile she'd helped construct, she already knew the killer was no raving lunatic spewing his own blood, hair, and fibers for the police to gather in their evidence bags, the so-called disorganized sociopath. Beyond that, though, no one was sure what they were after. The mixed signals were what made the case so baffling, and the thought of yet another dead end brought a knot to her stomach. "How sure are you about the match with Miami?" "Virtually certain." "That's certain enough for me," she said. "Given the case history, I guess it was pretty unrealistic to hope for a break that big. Thanks anyway, Doc. You do good work." She hung up, then pushed aside a stack of books to sit on the edge of the desk. After a minute of thought, she dug in her purse for her dictaphone. "Saturday, January 11th, she began. "Lab results suggest further modification of profile, savagery of attacks, level of carnage left behind at crime scenes, absence of actual sexual penetration continued to suggest disorganized qualities. Level of staging and increasing manipulation of evidence, however, indicates a keen presence of mind and well-conceived plan to taunt police and or thwart the investigation consistent with an intelligent and organized serial killer." She paused and took a deep breath, as if suddenly comprehending the size of their problem. She switched the dictaphone back on. "In short," she said solemnly, "subject can be classified neither as organized nor disorganized. It appears as though we're dealing with a unique sociopathic hybrid. One killer with attributes of both." Church let out at noon on that clear but cold Sunday. A call came in to the Candler County Sheriff's Office in Meta around 12:45. The clerical staff didn't work